Hi, I'm Katie, a homeschooling mom of 5, and we just finished week 5 of Exploring Countries and Cultures by My Father's World, and I wanted to give you another weekly update on how it's going for us. So I do have some footage of some of the things that we did this week, but I just wanted to use the teacher's manual and just go over some of the things that we enjoyed. So the kids are doing really well memorizing their weekly memory verses. I made some little cards similar to the ones I used in World Changers curriculum. So I will link those down below if you want to get a copy for yourself. So they color the cards, they also do the copy work. But that has been really nice. So dictation of the memory verse for my 4th grader has been a new experience for us. Like, we've done dictation a little bit and we've dabbled in Charlotte Mason, so I knew the idea of it, but it's been really good and a very fruitful activity for her to look very closely at the grammar and punctuation and spelling and do that. So for the geography from A to Z cards, we get 1 done, and my kids are pretty particular on getting the drawings good. So sometimes they'll make a photocopy of the page and then they'll use their Crayola light boards to trace if it is difficult. But they do enjoy making the cards. So I'm gonna circle back, sorry. I wanted to go over Bible first before I did language arts. So that was language arts. Bible for week 5 in Mexico. We learned, we read through Window on the World for Mexico, and we've been praying all week about just what the people in Mexico are going through. It's really cute to hear, not cute, it's sad, but it's also we're at the stage with my 10-year-old where we are ready to talk about a little bit of deeper things. So she's been praying specifically for the children kind of caught up in all of the cartel behavior and unstable government things happening. So that has been just really thought-provoking and in encouraging a lot of extra prayer, not thinking about themselves, which is the goal of a lot of what we do with My Father's World, is just to get to the point where the kids are thinking outward and not necessarily what can the world do for me, but what can I do in my small life to benefit other people, pray for other people, intercede for other people who may not even know that that's possible. So it's been good. So let's see, finding the Jordan River. We did do the memory verse test. I didn't have them write it out for the test. I just had them orally say it. And then let's see, spelling. We are using Rod and Staff spelling for 2nd grade and 4th grade, and that's going great. We do it in 3 days instead of 4. So we do 3 days and then test on day 4. For math drill, we are using Extra Math, xtramath.com, and I'm really hoping that will help them solidify by memory all of their math facts. They do addition, subtraction, multiplication, division. We signed up for a free account, and it times them 10 minutes, and then it can track how long it takes them, and it's just super simple. There's not games or anything. It's literally it'll say 7 plus 3, and the kids have to either type in or click in 10 under a certain amount of time, and then it can keep track of how long it takes them to see what they've actually mastered. So that works for us. It gives them a little excuse to go on a screen during the day, and I don't have to have them redo all the facts that they actually know and keep track that way. So I'm liking that. And then for math, we're using Math with Confidence, and that we can do in 4 days. So I love that. So the 2nd and 4th grade Math with Confidence. Actually, my 2nd grader is finishing up 1st grade because we ended up switching math so much last year that we had to finish those books before we could start. But we started early in August, so I think we'll be good. And I don't mind them continuing math over summer. I love math. I started them both with Montessori math when they were little, so they observing actual numbers and math concepts and seeing concrete examples is very important to me, but also having something easy and open and go is important to me as well. So, and they get to play games with Math with Confidence, and I love playing games with my kids because I just feel like it's always a good way to connect. So for geography, I'm just going down the list of the teacher guide. For geography this week, this was the first time that we did the passports and got on an airplane and took off and all of that. So I have some footage of everything that we did for geography this week, and it was great. Book basket has been fabulous. I'll share our Mexico books at the end of my week 6 video. For science, we learned about deserts. We went to a turtle museum, and again, there's some video footage of that, and I'll include that after I finish my little chat here. And then for music and art, we were learning the Piñata song, which had some fun Spanish words in it. And then we've been listening to some mariachi music. We haven't been doing every art project, but we're trying to incorporate it a little bit more. So for reading, my children are each using a different level of Memoria Press's literature guides. So for my 4th grader, she was finishing up Farmer Boy that we never finished last year. And for my 2nd grader, she started Prairie School today. And they both really love that, even though I do have them like copy out complete sentences for their answers and really dive deep into these literature guides because it's one of the heavier writing things that we do. For reading, I did skip English, but I can go back there. For foreign language, we are starting Latin, I think next week, and we're just gonna do Prima Latina. And then the following year, I'll have my younger one do Latina Cristiana by Memoria Press, and my older one jump into first form with Memoria Press. For the read aloud, my children are loving Kingdom Tales, loving Kingdom Tales. Even my 5-year-old, like we've been reading it at bedtime, and she's like, I can't go to bed if you don't read that book. So we're enjoying it. For the Book of Animals, I just tore out all the North American pages and have my 2nd grader work on those, and she's really liking them. She wishes I didn't tear them out of the book because she liked working in the book, so I told her for the next continent I wouldn't take all the pages out. I just thought it would be easier, but I guess not. Circling back up to English, because I didn't talk about it, we are using Language Lessons for Today, which is a Charlotte Mason inspired language arts curriculum, very gentle, using picture study and poetry and searching through sentences of books you're actually reading and copying sentences from books you're actually reading, things like that. So they do introduce grammar, but not like sentence diagramming or anything like that. So the grammar, since I'm choosing to teach them Latin, a lot of grammar will be learned just by teaching Latin. So I'm really good with having a beautiful and gentle language arts curriculum. So that is what that does for me. So the 2nd and 4th graders each have like the 2nd and 4th grade level of Language Lessons for Today, published by My Father's World. And then they each have a different level of IEW. So on Fridays or Thursdays, just once a week, sometimes twice a week, but I think it's probably going to be more like once a week. We just work slowly through one lesson at a time, the IEW work. So one actual like writing lesson may take a whole month because one day you might write the keyword outline and tell it back, and then the next week we may do the rough draft or half of the rough draft, and then the other half the following week, and then edit it and write the final draft. So I'm okay with that. They're still really young, and I would rather have like add it in once a week than not do it at all. So, and I kind of feel the same way about Latin. So this year, just having more kids in school. So I have a 4th grader, 2nd grader, kindergartner, and then my preschooler loves to do school, and we have a baby. So I'm just learning how to kind of juggle all those different levels. And if we just do something once a week, then I'm okay with that. So anyway, here is some video clips. Here are some video clips from our visit to Mexico this week.
What? That's like
The
caramel.
kids helped us shop at a local Mexican grocery store for some snacks, and we went all out setting up our table and our luggage container, our vintage luggage container with all of the snacks and a flag and some book basket books or some read alouds. Some of them, it was kind of a mix between read alouds and book basket. We got a banner, a papel picado banner, and set up our schoolroom as an airport and a plane. So they had little snacks for when we were on the plane for Mexico, little candies and a drink, and I kind of pushed that little cart around and pretended I was giving them in-flight snacks. We did the same thing in our Synergy group, which you'll see in a later video clip, but they loved watching this in-flight safety video. But we had, themed snacks, and the kids got all cozy, and they had their passports with their money, and I stamped their passports and exchanged their currency right when they got off the plane. And it was a really fun experience, and it's really great to be able to get the little ones involved in like the bigger kids' work. They really paid attention. I mean, they're 3 and 5, and some things the 7-year-old isn't too excited about in a curriculum that is geared for all the way from 2nd grade to 8th grade. But this is something that all kids of all ages have enjoyed. And we exchanged our currency for pesos, and they could buy snacks each day of the 2 weeks we were studying. And so we were learning about turtles in our science curriculum, and we have a wonderful local sea turtle museum. So we saw them feed the fish, and we heard them talk about the turtles, and they rehab sea turtles and release them back into the ocean. So we went on a field trip with our friends who also do My Father's World, and we got to learn all about different kinds of water habitats. So freshwater and ocean, and the different kind of fish that live in different areas of the rivers and ocean surrounding us. My mother-in-law ended up meeting us, which is always fun for her to be able to spend time with the kids. And they had this big interactive indoor air-conditioned aquarium where you can like design your own fish, and then they see it pop up on the screen and swim in the aquarium. So they could spend hours and hours and hours in there. There was a lionfish tank, and a jellyfish tank. I don't know if I have a picture of it. Here are some baby sea turtles. So these, again, are kept until they're ready to be released. When the tides are right and the seaweed that is supposed to be there is there, then they can be released back into the ocean. And the kids had fun learning about these little sea turtles, and some of them are marked, and some of them have to be put in timeout, the kids were telling me, because they were not being very nice to the other sea turtles. They have really a lot of fun talking to the volunteers at the different museums and places that we visit, because it's just something that they're used to, that they've done since they were really little, and they've gotten used to speaking to adults and asking intelligent questions and things that interest them. And I love putting the children in touch with people who are experts in their field in ways that I don't have that sort of expertise. And it really is great so that they can see like, oh, this person's really passionate about sea life or turtles or cooking or whatever, or gymnastics or whatever it is. Here the kids are just playing, and they just love having their baby brother around. My oldest, it was making a little miniature blanket for him, and she did finish it this week and picked back up her knitting and tried to get those stitches correct. My 5-year-old here is doing some kindergarten, and my 3-year-old is doing some preschool, and we were learning about apples and the different flavors and kinds of apples, and that's fun. And my children, I find pictures of my phone of beautiful plants and animals all the time that they discover. Here, my Exploring Countries and Cultures, 2nd and 4th grader, are doing book basket, and this is one of the books that comes with the My Father's World curriculum, where it's kind of like an animal search. It's like, I think it is called Exploring Animal Search or something like that, where they open up to a biome or habitat, and they around the edge is an animal that they have to find in the picture, so it really helps them look closely at a specific ecosystem and find those animals. Here we played the geography game, and this is wonderful. We love the geography game. I play it with them, so we use 3 different game boards. I let the little ones play on my game board when they come over and they're interested in playing. Here we're using buttons, but we've also used M&Ms, and we are just really loving our trip to Mexico. Check in next week for the wrap up for week 6.